What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. Getting it set up here. I'm here with Matthew from Discord for Degenerates. Matthew, how you doing today, bro?
Everybody, welcome to the live
stream. Fix that. I'm good. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. So once I get this set up both ways, we'll be good to go. I just invited you to the Instagram. So just to let everybody know, all of our viewers, we are live on Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook right now. And I got to turn my volume down on my phone because I'm going nuts over here. Yeah. There we go. It's always a little bit shaky off the start, but once we get going, we'll be good.
So Matthew, is there any? You clear?
Yeah, you sound good, bro. You sound good on my end. As long as we don't have an echo, we should be good to go. I'm gonna share this on my personal Facebook just so we got everybody in here. We'll wait a couple minutes, but shouts out to everybody. Opening day is here. We're happy. We're excited. I actually just recorded my Gin and Tonic, which is a video series. If you guys don't know about it, Matthew, if you don't know about it, it's on our YouTube channel. That Tony makes one on Tuesday, I make one on Thursday, and that one's featuring opening day. So that's started today. We're really excited about it. I guess how you feeling about opening day? Let me just start right off the bat here, Matthew. How you feeling about opening day? Are you excited about MLB starting up?
I am excited. Real quick before we start, though, I know that's
yeah.
What do you want me to do about that?
What'd you say?
The live. Can you hear the echo? Is it fine for my phone?
No, I'm fine. Can you hear me on your end?
Yeah,
I can't hear an echo.
So
okay, yeah, you're good.
I love baseball. I think baseball is my most profitable sport, so I'm super excited for opening day. I was a little bit iffy on betting it though because I wanted to see the first day play out a little bit, and I was going to
jump. Yeah. It's tough. You got to see the first day play out. It's almost like the start of the NBA season or the NCAA basketball season. You got to see how certain teams are feeling, how certain players and prospects are coming out, how they're playing right off the bat. Because you almost got to give it, a solid 3-4 games because they got those series right at the beginning. Like I think the Tigers got 3 or 4 games with the Indians. So you got to kind of take that into account and see how they play, game in and game out. It's going to be tough to really make a good prediction early on. You got to wait a couple games before you can see how people are playing.
I like this. I like to let the rotation go through once. I think you'll have a good idea when the rotation goes through about one time. Pick your pitchers because this is how I kind of hone down on baseball. I like to really pick a couple teams. I don't battle the whole slate. That's not kind of how I get down. I pick a couple teams. I'm from Atlanta, so fortunately enough, I got a good baseball team I could look after. So I pick my poison throughout the year.
Good for you, man. Yeah, it's important to pick your poison, see what everybody is doing, and then feel it out. That's what I kind of tell a lot of people too, especially people that are starting out sports betting. Make sure you pick a couple teams that you can hone in on, follow them, and then see how they play against certain caliber teams because you should be able to get a good idea of how they're playing against certain teams that way, especially if they're a consistent team, which depends on the sport, but some teams and some leagues are more consistent than others. So it's important to follow those trends and stick with your guns and stay with a couple teams that you can count on.
Yeah, and some of the teams on my radar right now, just from looking at a lot of the future bets a week or so ago, the Mets, the Braves. I love the Braves. I'm a sucker though. Sometimes I bet with my heart. The Braves are definitely going to be a team that I keep my eye on. The Mets are going to be a team, and the White Sox.
Okay, I got you. Okay, all right. I'm just getting a message. I got a comment here on Instagram said a lot of echo. Okay, I don't know why that's happening.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I could hear you. Is there a way?
You hear me echoing?
No, you're fine. You're talking on my phone. Is there a way for me to mute you talking?
I don't know if there's a way for me to do it. I'm gonna try to hold my phone. 1 second. Let me see if I can. I'll just hold it over here. I'll hold my phone over here. I'm gonna hold it while we go because that's how we're just going to have to do it. We're going to roll with it that way. I think it's fine. I think it's better now, hopefully. But my phone was right next to the mic, so that might have been why it might have been echoing. But it is what it is. But back to what you just said. That's one of our cardinal rules here at Gin Pros. Bet with your head, not with your heart. It's hard to do sometimes. We understand that. But it's so important to do that because when your money's at stake, you got to take the team that you think is going to win you that money back. Or more money back based on whatever the bet odds are. So it's a really hard rule to follow, but if you can follow it to the best of your ability, you'll be better off in the long run. So
So let me use that to segue into, tell me a little bit about Gym Pros. Cause I didn't know if it was a play on Tanqueray, cause I'm a big fan of Tanqueray. I love Tanqueray.
Oh, I
Um,
love Tanqueray too.
so tell me a little bit about how you came up with the name, because coming up with a name that's catchy enough to build a whole entire brand around can be a little bit tricky.
Right. No, that's a great question. And to answer that question, basically it circles around. In 2018 we went on spring break to Fort Lauderdale, and about a month or two out we wanted to still drink with the boys and have a good night, but we didn't want to stack up those calories and all the carbs and all that stuff that's in beer, so we cut beer completely out. And then most liquor has a significant amount of sugar and calories too, like vodka, rum. It's really heavy, and it's really not good for you, so we went straight to gin and tonics. And then right in
love gin.
Right. Oh, they're the best, aren't they? And right in that same stint is right when March Madness was starting back up. So we were getting really hard into betting. So I'm like, I want to start my own betting page. So I was like, it's got to be Gin Pros. It's got to be Gin Promotions. So I just came up with it out of the blue, and made it happen. So we ran with it ever since.
And the reason why I reached out to you guys, and kind of asked to do this is because I've done this a couple times, and I realized that the first couple times I did it were very unorganized. It was very just winging it. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
You guys looking at the link tree, looking at the business cards, looking at the merch, looking at the content that you're putting out. I was inspired by, and that's a big compliment. I was inspired by how organized everything was and how like to the book it looked. So that's why I wanted to really reach out to you guys, because that's where I'm aiming to get. I'm looking to be a lot more organized than I was the first time, because it worked. I saw little moments where the members and the subscriptions and everything, it was working. We were winning. The people were growing, but it wasn't as flawless as it could have been.
Right. Exactly. I appreciate that too, Matthew. That means a lot.
Yeah.
But yes, that's something we really strive for here at Gin Pros, is to try to make everything look as professional as it can be. Always strive for professionalism. And, amidst a sea of pages like this, it's sometimes, hard to do that, and it's hard to stand out. I guess that'll segue me into a question for you. I guess, do you think that, our type of pages, do you think that they're saturated all over Instagram? Do you think there's too many pages out there? Do you still think there's opportunities for pages like us to succeed?
Yeah, I think that it definitely is very saturated. And my first page that I started was back in 2017. I was 18 at the time, so I was using Bovada overseas because I was barely able to gamble. And even back,
oh yeah, I love Bovada.
Love Bodog. Gotta love Bodog. I was professional level 3, and then they banned me. So screw them.
Wow.
But yeah, listen, there wasn't as many pages back then, and as the years you got to look on TVs, on fights, on stuff like that. Gambling's promoted so much now. It's so common. Sports betting is so common now. And that's why I think it's even a better time to start a page. But I do think it's very saturated. And here's where I think people sell themselves short a little bit. And this is what I did. So I learned from a lot of trial and error. There's a lot of trial and error that I'm going through right now. So, because I've bought picks from people. And where people steer you wrong is if you could figure out, picking games is one thing, but bankroll management is the most important thing. And that's what I've learned as a person who's gambled for 3 years. It is a game, and it's picking games. That's important. You got to pick winners, but bankroll management, because you could pick 3 winners and screw your whole bankroll off the next pick.
Oh, 100%. If you over leverage yourself, over leverage your whole bankroll, you're toast. I don't care if you win 5 games, you could lose 1 game. If it's that last game and you're betting the house on it, you could be risking your entire bankroll, and then you're toast. So, and
this is how I feel like I'm standing out from some of my competitors. And I was going to get more in depth on how you guys like the service that you guys provide, but I really want to emphasize this go around. I'm going to do a lot of bankroll management with you guys. Like I want to have hands-on of what you're betting, because I had people on my last one that I'd give them a winner. The next bet, they would put way more on it, and then they'd lose. And I'd say, listen, that wasn't a part of the plan. I stick to the unit. I'm going off a system. So if you're not on the system, it's not going to work. So
exactly.
When I'm getting people on the memberships this time, you got to stick to a unit system. You got to. I have it down to almost like a little program that I'm selling, and you got to stick to that. And if you do, I'm pretty confident I could bring you a decent return on investment.
Oh, definitely. And that's really smart too. And I look forward to, talking about that more in depth off air. But yeah, that's really smart, and staying strict to the unit is paramount, because, if you over leverage it, then you're going to throw away all those good bets, and they're not going to be worth anything. You're going for that big win. Everyone's looking for that instant gratification, that big, that big break, I guess, so to speak. It doesn't exist. You're going to eventually, betting on that system, you're going to screw yourself more times than not. So
yeah. Well,
those are good values to push.
Absolutely. And that's why I really, and I feel like I'm super, I'm fairly priced. So I not only believe in that, but I saw it work. So my friend back in, like right around May, so kind of like in the middle of quarantine, it was the biggest gambling run that I've ever seen with my own eyes, sticking to that system. So he hit, and I'll just touch on it for like a couple sentences, but basically he hit a golf bet, a future bet, or not. It was a tournament that he ended up winning for calling whatever he won. He ended up winning $6,000. Okay. And then from that $6,000, he was like, should I just cash out and whatever? I was like, no, get smart with it. Like, get smart with it and really do some damage. Long story short, he stuck to 5 games a week, not to play more, not to play less, sticking to units. Obviously, his units were a little bit more because he had more juice than anyone that I knew had. $37,000 he ran up in 29 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
My age, he's 22. So that showed me this could work, sticking to the game plan. When you stick to a game plan, shit works. Tom Brady doesn't go out there with no game plan in it, and shit just falls perfectly. You got to stick to a game plan, and you got to not break the game plan. And when you do that, good stuff happens.
That's very true. And, staying true to that system, it can be hard to do. You'll be tested. You'll have times where you're tested. But if you can stay true to that, you will be profitable over time. And that it completely screws the whole system if you don't follow the system, because at that point you're putting holes in the experiment, which is essentially the betting scheme, betting strategy. And if you put holes in that, it's not going to work, and you're not going to be able to make any solid calculations off of that. Yeah. So the more you can push those values to your clients is the better. I mean, it's gonna really set you aside from the other pages on Instagram or influencers or people selling picks that don't push those values. Yeah, because that just shows you have the better interest in mind of your clients. And
100% customer service. I mean, customer service. You gotta just really, because they're the ones paying you. They're the ones making your dream float. So you got to cater to them at all times. That's just how any business works. That's not with just gambling. That's any business. Your customers are why your dream floats. So you got to make sure that it's tailored to them and it's really working out for them and it's not gouging them. That's why it blows my mind that some people charge $400, $500 for whatever they're selling, like services, like $500 for a week, $400 for 2 weeks. It's like you're doing it for the money and it's coming through. It's not genuine. So that's why I'm $20 per month. I'm not going to bend or break on that. Might add a couple packages for whatever, but that's me not trying to make a bunch of money. That's me trying to give y'all the game that I've learned from betting for 3 years.
Exactly. And that'll give you more clients in the long run compared to your counterparts, because there's people that will, buy packages, $400 or $500 for a week or a month or whatever it is, and they'll see themselves not win. And then they'll just notice that the person selling those picks will turn the cold shoulder on them. They might give them a couple free picks here and there, but they're not giving them the betting knowledge that they need. And in the long run, they're just going to be shortchanged, and they're going to be wasting a ton of money where they could have really realistically been just making their own picks and betting that money and spending it more effectively that way, compared to buying picks that are, supposed locks and everything like that, and not getting any insight on how to actually bet those picks over the course of time. So
yeah. And here's another thing on that. When you I don't want to say I don't like, but I like a seasoned bettor that I could work with, because they know losing happens. Like, I don't like it's not that I don't like, it's hard to work with people that it's like, oh my God, we lost. And it's like, it's gambling. We lose. But when you stick to the unit bet, I could go 3-2 one week for 5 plays, and then 3-2 the next week. You're up 2 units. So if you're down a unit, you're up a unit. If you stick to the unit betting, you can afford to lose. That's what people don't wrap their head around. You can afford to lose a couple times, and it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt the process. But let me say this, because I was looking at I was kind of creeping on your guys' pages before we did this, and I saw business cards, I saw T-shirts, I saw people getting signed, I saw all types of stuff that kind of caught my interest, and I wanted to know, and I'm genuinely curious because I'm probably going to follow some footsteps. Where do you plan on? Because you guys got some bricks laid. Where do you plan to take the brand?
So we want to take the brand worldwide. We want to branch off with a bunch of different arms. So right now, one of our major arms is our Gin Gaming branch, which is, we have 2 streamers that we've signed right now, and they stream for Gin Gaming, and that's essentially rooted in Gin Pros itself. So that's touching on the gaming, the streaming market, a market that, you know, is relatively saturated, but if you can touch it in the right way and you can reach out to that different market effectively, there's tons of opportunity there. And the key to it is standing out from the crowd, because that's one of the hardest things to do, you know, in social media, period. So if you can do that and have different arms and different, you know, feet in different corners, it's more beneficial. It'll give you a better chance of success over the course of time. So basically, we want to have different arms. We have plans for different, you know, stuff that we want to do. And then that we do our events. We have the Corona Challenge, which is a annual golf event. It's a charity golf tournament.
I golf.
Do you really?
Yeah.
So registration's open right now for the Corona Challenge. I know it's a little bit of a hike from Pittsburgh, but I'd love to see you there, man. But yeah, basically just events, stuff like that. That sets us aside from, you know, a lot of the more generic pages that are just, you know, all about like sports and everything like that. But I don't want to say they're generic, because every page is unique in its own way. Like you have your picks, you have your packages and everything like that. You have your posts where you make your videos and stuff, integrating with your clients and your viewers. That's super important. People that aren't doing that, they're just posting screenshots of, you know, oh, here's a picture of the Pacers. They covered, you know, -5. Great. You know, anyone can do that. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's
Pacers -6.
By people putting a name with the face, it puts you light years ahead of 90% of these pages out there.
Yeah.
So I commend you for that. And yeah, pretty much just doing what you can to stand out. Because listen, both of us have seen, we've taken notes out on pages that are similar to us. So we see what's working, we see what's not working, and what might work for one page might not work for another page. So as long as you get away from that generic scheme of things and you start doing things your own way, then you'll be successful over time. It might not be overnight, but
and that's important.
You know, everyone wants that instant gratification. It's not available.
People want to go to the gym on Saturday and have a 6-pack by Sunday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They do, especially during quarantine.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's just not realistic, and you gotta take your head out of the clouds when you think like that. And there's so many people that think like that, and they do it, and then they're like, oh man, I can't do it, because they're product driven. They're not process driven. So they're like, I want the item. I want the Lamborghini right now.
And they don't see longevity. They don't see where they don't
have the vision.
No, absolutely not. And you can this is the coolest hustle in the game.
Oh yeah, it's awesome, isn't it?
If you actually know where this shit could go and how it really takes. If I want to promote a shirt, I got to buy a shirt. I got to ship it. I got to do a bunch of shit that costs money. If I want to promote a betting page, I got to hit picks. I got to tap in, do research, and hit picks. That costs no money. So me being super business minded, it's like, I gotta try. Not only try, I gotta make this work, because it makes sense. People don't understand that if you have the longevity vision and you're genuine and you do have people, you can't just give picks, because that's not enough. You got to make the people. I don't want the people to buy my page. I want the people to buy me. I want the people to buy into me. So that's what I'm trying to do, because that makes people stick.
Exactly, man. That's exciting too. And you know, I commend you for that. And I'll be honest with you, when you reached out to me, I could tell it was genuine. I could tell you actually wanted to work with us and, you know, get on a live stream like we're doing right now. And I noticed that. And you know, these pages that are growing, people that are growing their page will either recognize that and, you know, take that opportunity, or they'll just shoo it aside. They're like, oh no, I want that, you know, guy in the MLB that has 500,000 followers. I want him on my podcast, or, you know, whatever. You can't be shooting the stars like that, you know, right off the bat. And the ones that are growing like you and I right now, we gotta stick together and rally up, because we're gonna really, you know, there's strength in numbers no matter what you're doing. So especially in this business, if you can get rallied up with people that are like-minded and in the same industry, then we can only help build each other. It's not like, oh, I want to get all the Discord for Degenerates followers. I don't want him to get any of the followers. No, that's the wrong way to think. We want to build each other up and cross promote like we're doing right now. Everybody's seeing you. People are seeing me that follow you, you know, and it's exciting and it's great. People got to see it that way, but too many people have the wrong idea of it.
And this is content. The main reason why I wanted to do this is because you got to think outside of the box. This is creative content. So I figured this is another chance for me and you and the other people in your brand in general, my brand and your brand, to put more face-to-face interactions with the people coming onto our page. And that's the main thing in sales. That's important. And when I won't dive into that because I'll talk about that.
That's all right. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. No, you're right. And it's really, if you have the right vision going into it, if you're process driven, and Tony, actually, my partner, told me about that saying, and it gets me through some of the tough days. Cause listen, we all have those discouraging days where it's like, oh man, I don't know if this is going to work out. You know, I don't know if I'm going to want to do this for my whole life, you know, and all that. And if you process driven, you think about the end goal, you're willing to, or at least you should be, if you're very process driven and strong minded, you will put up with a lot of the in-between stuff to get there. And, you know, it's not always going to be fun. It's not always going to be instant gratification. But if you can stick it out and, you know, power through those hard times, you're going to make it. There's just no way. There's Tony in the chat right now. What up, fellas? Tony, wish you could be here, man. I'm sure you're making a deal or something over there, Randy Wise. So thank you for tuning into the stream. I appreciate it. Matthew, this is Tony, just commented. He's the guy that's usually on the streams with me. You're the one. He's probably the one Tony, he's probably seen you more than he's seen me.
Yeah, I thought I was FaceTime.
I thought I was getting all. He's the one always making those videos. Yeah, a little bit of Uno reverse card on you, Matthew.
So tell me this, as a consumer, if I'm looking to join the Gen team members, whatever it may be, what do I get? What do I get out of it? Like, what do you guys? Give me an in-depth look on the service.
Yeah, so I guess it depends what you're looking for. So right now, currently, we're not selling any picks. We're not doing any betting packages right now. We do plan on doing something like that in the future. So basically, when we have a need, so like right now, the need is Gin Gaming for streamers. When we're trying to build that different branch, there'll be certain parameters that are set up. Well, there'll be a vetting process to see if whoever we're looking at is a good fit. More times than not, 99% of the time, they're reaching out to us after we see a need somewhere. They'll reach out to us and be like, okay, you know, is this a good fit? We'll do our vetting process and see if that's a good fit. And then if it is a good fit, it's a happy marriage, then you're a part of the Gin Pros team, the Gin Pros family. And basically you're a part of the process now. You're part of, you know, the entire regime, I guess. You know, it kind of sounds weird saying it like that, but when we build up each other, we build up each other in different ways. And it's pretty much a big support system. And we want to see everybody succeed in their own areas. So it just kind of depends where the need is at the current time. But I guess as far as whatever you get, pretty much what you get is that vision. And you're getting in, especially if it's a new branch of Gin Pros, you're getting in on the ground floor of that in its early developmental stages. So I guess you're just a part of the thing, and you're basically integrated within the process to then reap the benefits of the brand once they do take off and once they do really gain some real traction. So
yeah, Absolutely. Is it just a 2-man team, just you and Tony?
It's just me and Tony. Yeah, we have people that do a lot of work for us as far as the camera stuff, and I do all the editing.
A lot of streamers, gamers.
So we have 2 gamers right now. One of them, his name's Reversal on Twitch, and the other one's AP3. We just signed him last Sunday. So both these guys, they're actually friends of ours or friends of friends. So we kind of integrated with them and had a long process. Not a long process, but an in-depth process where we look into them, see what they're capable of, see what they've been able to produce as far as streaming and gaming is concerned. And then we look to make sure certain boxes are checked, make sure they have a solid personality and they can be integrated with other viewers on Twitch, make sure their gameplay is adequate, if not, better than average. And then make sure they have the setup, make sure they have all the hardware, capable of streaming and capable of importing the graphics that I make into their stream, making sure that they're able to
making sure that they're buying into the vision, that they see.
Oh, exactly. That's everything. That's everything. So getting anybody involved, they have to be buying into the vision.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, how it is with a lot of people that, hit us up or whatever, they've known about our stuff for a long time, but once they've not just now seen us, maybe not just now, but a couple, 2-3 months ago, they see that we're having all these events, we're getting streamers signed, we're doing all this stuff, on Instagram, Facebook, live streams, podcasts, all of it. And they're like, wow, I really want to be a part of that. And they're seeing, but they're not believing without seeing. And that's the people that we're looking for. And that's where Tony and I, this is actually the reboot of Gin Pros. We started in 2018. It was just sending pics in a group chat. We had an Instagram page where we posted the pics, sold a couple pics here and there, had a couple clients, but then we let it go. We really didn't touch it for a while until, August of 2020. And that rebirth, Tony really had that vision that I was looking for all along.
Yeah.
To be able to power through the tough times, be able to put time aside. And he works 60, 70, 80 hours a week doing all the Gin Pro stuff with the podcast, the live streams on Monday, Wednesday, the gin and tonics on Tuesday, Thursday. It's a lot. It really is a lot of work. So you got to have someone that's willing to put in that work and that effort without essentially, getting a paycheck for it.
Yeah.
And it's tough to do. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's also a very minute number of people that are able to see that vision all the way through the end. And then I go back to what he said too, being process driven, having and taking pride in the grind. If you don't take pride in the grind, you're defeating yourself right now. You might as well.
The fun part. Building the page and building the part. This is the fun part.
Oh yeah, we'll look back at these days, Matthew, and we'll be like, wow, that was a blast. Even having those unknowns where it's like, I don't know if this is going to work out. And then looking at yourself, 5-10 years from now and be like, wow, every single moment was worth it. And it's just so exciting to think about being in that position, but also basking in the position we're in right now. It's incredible.
And just where I plan to take it, I really want to, if I could get to this point, this is obviously where I'm shooting. I want to get to a point where I have enough people working with me, enough people on my team, enough people subscribed, enough people bought into the vision that I could put quote unquote professionals in place to really, you know what I'm saying? And not only in place, but to pay them well, make them have an incentive to do well for me. Like that's where I see this going. I see this going full company mode because there's a bunch of betting pages. There's not a bunch of companies doing this.
There's none. There's barely any.
That's what I'm saying.
If they are, they're very private. They're very sheltered. You don't see, the only one you really see maybe is the Barstool Sports Book, but they're really not putting picks out like crazy. They're not selling picks like crazy. They just have the sports book and they have the app, which makes them, and they've already built that platform to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But to have a betting consulting service that is legitimized and is backed up by, professionals that have been doing it forever. That's something that's a market that hasn't really been touched.
Exactly. That's what I'm shooting for. And I'm sure
I give you credit, man. I wish you all the best. I know you'll get there, but just keep that vision all the way through to the end, because you'll have a realization moment where it's like, wow, I'm really starting to make it. I'm making my dream come true, and it's just, I don't know when it's going to happen. Just like I don't know when it's going to happen for us, but when it does happen, it's not if it happens, it's when it happens. When it happens, you'll be satisfied.
That's important. It's not,
When you
put your head down and you don't care about the results, you detach from the results. that's when powerful shit happens.
Oh, that's so true. All right, Tony with another comment. Wait a minute. Is he a Notre Dame fan?
My grandpa went to Notre Dame. This is where I bet with my heart and not with my mind. Anytime Notre Dame plays, anytime Notre Dame plays, I can't take the opposing team.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you.
But listen, I feel like we gave a good, some good insight on who we are and about the brands and stuff. As promised. Oh, you got another bet Michigan.
Oh yeah, bet on Michigan the other night and lost my ass. Travis Kagi, come on now. You got to be ready for those upsets. UCLA came to play, baby. I mean, nobody really could have called that 11 seed.
I mean, Discord for Degenerates did. I gave that out on my page. So UCLA.
You pick UCLA?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that sets you apart from everybody.
There we go.
Wow. Good for you, man. Good for you. But yeah, like you were saying, Matthew, I think we did a good job of kind of displaying each of our pages. We have, a little bit of cross promotion going. Everybody that's watching my stream right now, check out Matthew's Instagram, Discord for Degenerates on Instagram. Check out his service. Check out all his videos and his posts. Lots of good stuff on there. He's a great guy. Obviously, like you can tell by if you've been staying with us long enough, seeing by the conversation, he's passionate. He's willing to go the distance with his business. I'm excited for him, and I wish him all the best. But yeah, I think this was really good, Matthew.
Likewise, bro. I'm rooting for you. And then we're definitely going to talk again. You're definitely someone I'm going to stay in touch with, you and Tony. I'm sure Tony's just as cool of a guy. I'll definitely be in touch.
I don't know about that. I'm just playing.
But as promised, we got to smack.
That brings us to the picks. Right? We're each going to release a free pick to everybody watching right now. This is a free pick. I actually released this in my gin picks, but Matthew's pick hasn't been released yet. So this is exciting stuff. How about I'll go first, Matthew, since mine's already been released to all of my audience. They'll have you pick yours and give your pick after me. So I have the Miami Heat -3 against the Golden State Warriors tonight. We're feeling really strong. We have Bam Adebayo. He's looking at, a really good night tonight. There's a couple guys that are day-to-day. Gordon Dragic, Kendrick Nunn, KZ Okpala. I think that's right. He is out. Gabe Vincent is also day-to-day, but everybody else is healthy. Eric Paschall is day-to-day on Golden State. So I'm feeling good about Miami -3. They're playing at home, and they've been really strong, been able to beat a lot of good teams this year. Golden State's been really spotty. So I got to take the Heat, -3.
I like it.
What do you got, Matthew? Let's hear it.
So I got two. Right now I'm deciding which one I want to throw out. I think they both hit, so I'm going to go ahead and give the better value one. I'm going to go ahead and give a little bit of a better value one. Now I'm going to give the Rangers. I was very excited today, and I planned on coming today and doing a baseball pick, but things changed. Some of the games opening day kind of didn't go as I thought they would. So
it's opening day though, right? It's the first game of the season. It's really hard to tell.
That's what I mean. So I'm going to switch to NHL. I'm going to stick to NHL. I've been kind of doing good on NHL. So I'm going to give the Rangers 3-way money line. They got to win in regulation. It's they're playing against the Sabres. The Sabres, if me and you got 3 other people and put ice skates on, we'd be just as good as the Sabres. So they stink. They're like a high school team. I'm sure.
Oh, Tony's going to hate you for that. He went to school. He lived in Buffalo for like 2 years. He's going to be pissed about that. He's been riding the Sabres hard
already.
hey, that's okay. But see, that's another thing we have here at Gin Pros, Matthew, that you should know, is we love and we embrace controversy. Whenever there's controversy, we love it because it makes for great content, great discussions, great, conversations. It's awesome. So I love it. I love it already.
If this pick comes back and backfires, I want Tony to be chirping in my DMs talking.
Oh, he'll be chirping you. We'll see what happens. I mean, the Sabres really haven't been that hot this year. I like the Rangers too. I think that's a good pick.
They're young. They're quick.
They are.
I'm a Pittsburgh fan. I got the Tom Brady of Pittsburgh of hockey for a while with Sidney Crosby. The Rangers are my sleeper team, or the Caps are my sleeper team. The Rangers give the Caps problems every time they play. They're quick. They're young. They're hungry. They're in a crazy division. So yeah, and the odds are good. It's -134. So I'm not one of those people who stick a -225 in your face, and that's my pick. So
right, exactly. I mean, those are all over betting pages. If you've looked at any betting pages, they're taking the favorites, they're taking the minus, 200-300s on money line bets where the spread's, minus 10. And it's just like why are you doing that? I mean, any novice bettor, you could know nothing about sports, look at that and be like, oh, I could probably take the money line. That would most likely hit. It's probably an over 85 to 90% chance that's going to hit.
yeah.
But the payout is absolutely garbage. And that's what I tell people that like to, throw teasers out there, and they're just slashing their odds like crazy. It's like, why are you? And there's people that are out there that'll bet significantly more to win significantly less money because they think it's an automatic lock. Prime example, Conor McGregor against the Poirier fight. That entire fight, everybody, there was so much weight, so much money on McGregor. Nobody expected Poirier to win. Nobody was.
When it was Conor McGregor lost, I felt like I lost. I felt like we lost as a team. I was like, oh, I know I love McGregor. I'm a big McGregor fan. I always root for the people who talk shit and back it up. So like,
oh yeah,
that's my kind of guy that I like to root for. And Conor was the epitome of that. Even when he fought Floyd, I'm a huge Floyd fan, but I was rooting for Conor because I was like, I hope he just comes out and does something. But
especially he was the underdog there because he wasn't fighting, in his own ring. He was throwing the gloves on and getting in the ring, with Floyd. He wasn't getting in the octagon with Floyd, which I think that'd be an interesting fight. But
the Poirier, we won't talk about that. But he was beating Poirier's ass the whole entire fight and got caught. I mean, the leg, whatever. He just got caught slipping. I think because. I think the whole entire fight, he looked really sharp for taking 2 years off. And the fight that he came back, he fought 30 seconds or something. I mean, that sport, because I have a friend who's professional. He's a professional fighter. You need cage time. You need fight time. That's what keeps you good. That's what keeps you going. He didn't have any for 2.5 years. So I thought he came out looking sharp as hell. And that's unfortunate how that kind of panned out.
That's what makes it so hard to bet MMA, man. Anyone can come out swinging. You catch a guy slipping for 1 second, get him in the corner, and he is done. He or she, honestly, and it's tough to bet fighting, especially when the odds are so skewed, where it's like the favorite there's so much weight on him, and Vegas had to have made out really good that day.
They always do.
They always do, but that was an extra special day for Vegas, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But yeah, we'll wrap it up here, Matthew. What else you got? Do you want to plug anything while you're on the stream? And then we'll kind of say our goodbyes and we'll be in touch.
Yeah. So this is brand new. I mean, I kind of rebooted the page 4 days ago. So I'm still in the works of putting together a website. I want everything, like I said, to come off very professional, be very organized this time around. So all I really got to plug is the Instagram right now. That's all I'm working with. So Discord for Degenerates. If you're a degenerate, I know there's a lot of people out there. I basically created a Discord to where like-minded individuals can talk, because I know people also like that environment. I like when I can talk to a bunch of people who like betting. I like that environment. I like going back and forth. So that's what I'm trying to create. I'm trying to create a platform to where like-minded individuals can go in there. I got a tab that says who's hot. If you think you got what it takes, hop in there and give some picks and be the guy that everyone follows.
I will definitely be joining that Discord. And I'm going to have everybody I know join it too, because I got a lot of bettors and there's a lot of degenerates that live in my house. So I'm going to have to tell them about it too.
Beautiful.
And I'm excited, man. There's going to be some good stuff coming from both of us. Really excited about everything. Make sure everybody, before I let everyone go, make sure you get signed up for the Corona Challenge and the International Federation of Beer Die Grand Tournament coming April 17th. And the Corona Challenge is June 19th. I almost said January. That wouldn't be right. But registration closes April 15th for both the Grand Tournament of Beer Die and the Corona Challenge. So make sure you're getting registered. I reached out to a lot of people on Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook today, and make sure they know about the event. Get their partners set up. They still got a couple weeks before registration closes, so get that figured out. But yeah, Matthew, thank you again for joining us, and I hope to do this again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. You're a real cool dude. I really appreciate you doing this, Tony. You as well, for you guys kind of orchestrating all this. This was cool content, and I had a lot of fun.
Thanks again, Matthew. Thank you, everyone, for joining in, and we'll see you next time.